All right.
Okay, go ahead.
You want to stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Paul Thompson,
Here.
Brady,
Here.
Brennan, here, Small.
Here.
And Gothier via Zoom.
Dan, are you there?
Oh, China memory. Okay.
Connecting to audio.
One more. It's Roshan, Dr. Mahavir from Saganor by Zoom.
Doctor, later on for you.
Okay.
That's right. You'll get in when you get there.
Okay. In referencing resolution number 2019-12 in electing the board chair annually, that was passed on October 16th of 2019. I would ask the board for your nominations for chairman of the Board of Commissioners for 2022.
Second.
So yours is also for
You're good.
okay. Are there any further nominations from the board for chairman? And are there any last nominations from the board for chairman?
Nominations be closed.
Okay. Being no further nominations, I'll distribute the ballot, which you can just fold in half and give to me. Adam, did you happen to decide if you wanted to do the vice chair by ballot as well?
Yeah, let's do it. Alex,
Okay.
please.
Fancy ballots here. At least it's the ballots ever. Yeah. You're welcome. And then I made separate ones for vice chair as well. Okay. Aaron Brady. 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 Okay.
Congratulations.
I am pleased to announce that Commissioner Brady is again the chairman for the year of 2022 for the Oklahoma County Board of Commissioners. And so at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Chairman Brady.
Okay, thank you very much. This time we'll accept nominations for vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Dan Gothier.
One for Dan Gothier. Anybody else? How did you say it last time?
Are there any last nominations?
Any last minute nominations? All right.
Okay.
We'll see the ballots.
Okay.
We have 4 for Dan Gothier. Get that over across there. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. This time, I would like to make a motion to add the new business review and approval. Oh, I gotta go through the first one. Improvements. Well, let's see here. Oh, we had to close the organization meeting, you're right. Sorry, come back.
We need to do the business in the open session.
Yeah, you gotta fly through that whole thing, and then when you get to the regular meeting, you can add in.
Found it. You made me chairman, why?
We'll help.
No, obviously. Okay, moving on. Approve minutes from December 15th, 22. Don't do that, it goes down there. Okay, got it now. New business, set regular meeting dates and time for 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we set the regularly scheduled Cumberland County Board of Commissioners meetings on the first and the third Wednesdays, commencing at 1:30 in the afternoon
Second.
of each month.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. We had a roll call all these?
No.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Any of your resolutions.
Next is the deposit resolution for 2022 and 01. I'll make a motion to adopt the deposit resolution for 2022-01. Supported by Greggy and Thompson. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Thompson,
Here.
Small,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Drummond,
Yes.
Next item is adopt investment resolution
So
number.
moved, 2022-02 resolution.
Moved by Drummond, second by Terry. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Drummond.
Yes.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Terry. Want to do a motion for the next one?
Resolutions are electronic transactions from 2022 and 23.
Motion by Bill, second by Terry. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Drummond,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Pardon?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to adopt the management of the cash resolution number 2022-04,
Oh, support.
seconded by Drummond. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Drummond.
Yes. I would move adoption of the drug management policy 2022-05.
Second. Motion by Carolyn, second by Terry. Any discussion? Roll call.
Thompson,
Yes.
Drummond,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Motion to accept the resolution for free fee waiver 22 to 06.
Second. Moved and seconded for the resolution of fee waiver number 2022-06. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Brady,
Yes.
Drummond,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Small,
Yes. Resolution for RFP and ARPA fund use number 2022-07. I make that resolution.
Support.
Who is supported? Brady and Broman. Any discussion? Roll call.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Drummond.
Yes. Move adoption of county credit card policy in the year 2022-08.
Support. Move to second, Broman and Thompson. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Drummond,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Motion to adopt the 2022 holiday schedule.
I have a question on June 20th. I'm sorry.
I don't know what it is.
Establish federal holiday.
It's a new federal holiday.
Yeah, they made it up last year.
What are we celebrating? Can I ask that?
Well, we have a motion, I need a second, before we talk about it. Okay, moved and seconded. I have no idea what it means, but there it is, it's a
Who was
recognized
the
federal
first? I'm
holiday.
sorry.
Me,
Bill,
Brady.
you were the second.
Yes, Bill was second, sorry. Any further discussion? Well,
It's not a resolution.
no, all those in favor,
I,
all opposed,
I,
motion carries. I was an eye on that one, by the way, in case you needed that. Okay, next,
Chairman, I would move to establish the newspaper of record for the Alcona County Review.
support. Moved and supported for the Oconee County Review. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I wish there was a number on here to reference. Take a motion to set per diem and mileage reimbursement for the board to be the same as 2021.
It's 35 for the first, or for a half a day, 60 for a whole, and 50 cents per mile.
Mr. Paul.
Moved and supported. That's money. Roll call.
Brumman,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Small.
Yes.
Things are going really fast. Who was the second? Bill. Okay.
Sorry, I'll slow it down
That's
for you.
okay.
Motion to set the employee mileage. What's the current rate? 50 cents to 50 cents for 2022.
So. Second.
Motion by Bill, second by Terry. Any discussion?
As long as gas is under $3 a gallon.
Just threw it off. This is over, isn't it? Good work.
Already lose.
Shell
Any,
station.
any other discussion?
Yeah.
All right, roll call.
Brumman,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Small.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, move to set the ADA requirements at a 15-day minimum request.
Support. Moved by Drummond, support by Thompson. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. This time, I would ask that you look over your committee that you have now. And is there any, can everybody send me what they would like to do or change? And then we can vote on it at the next meeting?
I have a communication with Kevin that he would like to stay on the. At least another year, he's involved with some litigation and. He just some right out the way down there for another year.
Okay.
I hear they're doing a manager or something. Yes, and that's part of what he's trying to get lived through, you know, I think.
And Mr. Chairman, I would like to suggest or recommend that we ask Commissioner Thompson to be the road commission liaison. Do you want to take action on these later today, or do you want to wait till the next meeting?
It doesn't interfere with anybody's current schedule. I'd like to do it the next meeting.
Okay.
There's a question of also, got it there. There's two meetings, NEMCOG and, I need to set up an alternate for NEMCOG and Michigan Works. Meet third Thursday of the month in Gaylord. So,
Jerry's places.
yeah, I've already spoken to Terry. I just wanted to bring it up in public here. I'll put them on
Nobody
here
has
for it.
any opposition. I would do that.
All right,
For NEMCOG.
For
Yeah.
alternate.
yes,
Do the alternate, them cog and. Whatever.
Michigan Working.
From, Michigan.
Yeah.
You got all three ones.
Here's another one.
That's what I just said.
Michigan Works, this one and this one. That's it.
Well, that's like two, I thought.
No, so two in Beaver, one's in.
Oh, one's in Alpena?
Yeah.
What was that, Nemska?
Yeah, that's Nemska.
Nemcog, Nemska, and
I'll put in for alternate on Nemska.
Northeast Michigan manpower.
Adam is alternate for NEMSCO.
I'm going to propose at the next meeting, yeah.
And where's the Michigan Works?
Yeah,
Housing Commission. has one that-
I'm sorry, what?
Where's Michigan Works on the list?
Big question. Is it the manpower one? Must be.
Yeah. Michigan Works is now manpower.
That's, I'm sorry, yep, that's the manpower one. I apologize.
That's the other.
Otherwise, everybody's happy with everything else. Okay, well, like I said, well, we'll bring it back and we're on. Okay, any assignments? And that is the end of,
Before you finish that, can I ask, are you holding off on your finance and budget and personnel? Because there are a few things that need to be discussed, probably before the next meeting. So I would, is that something you had considered?
oh, yeah, we do have to close up last year.
We have to close up last year and there's some new things coming up. So I need to know who to talk to.
Would you guys be okay if I approved Dan and I for
I'm okay with it.
today? I'll make a motion that Dan and Adam stay on finance.
No support.
Moved by Adam, supported by Bill, officially. Let's do a roll call, just to be sure.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yeah.
Brady,
Yes.
Drummond.
Yes.
All right. Okay, anything else before we close out our organizational?
Personnel.
Personnel. change.
Well, just personnel, just between now and then, I guess, Bill and Carolyn, are you, willing to stay on as personnel?
Quick, don't rise, yeah.
Chris, all right?
You start, right, okay.
Yeah, especially since we have conflicts. So
Am I gonna run into a whole bunch of these down here?
I just needed two.
Okay, good. Then, so I'll make a motion that for Bill and Carolyn to be on, personnel.
Second.
Moved and seconded by Brady and Small. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Drummond,
Yes,
Thompson.
Yeah.
Brady,
Yes.
Small.
Yes.
on countywide cleanup, I think the bill should be added to that. And who's the other one besides, isn't it Dan on health department? Is it Dan? Yeah, but there's two.
Dan, yeah.
Yeah.
Dan.
So he needs to be filled in on that one.
He said he was gonna zoom that.
Yeah, they said we could zoom that.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's not on our list. It's not showing with him on.
Oh, really?
the list. That's all that I.
Which one is that?
District two, right in the middle, under countywide cleanup.
Okay.
It's only showing Kerry.
Mhm.
Which means we don't have one book. So,
Yeah, we need to fix that. Okay. Any other recommendations today? Feel free to shoot me them as we go. We'll cement it all in, except the ones we just did now. Any other business for organizational? All right, well, we will adjourn the organizational. in the regular meeting.
We can do it under the full board meeting, but my term on select member March of this year. As vice chair, I did want to have to in that position.
Okay.
We will need to address it by the end of February.
You will have it addressed by the next meeting, for sure.
Okay,
Unless you'd rather have it today.
no. that's good.
All right, so we're back to the regular meetings. We pledge allegiance again.
Now, do you have the
Okay.
roll call then?
Roll call, please, for the regular meeting.
Brumman,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Small,
Here.
Brady.
Yes, here. Okay, so I would make a motion to add to today's. I don't have a public comment or anything here.
You have public comment.
Yeah.
Adam, do you want to verify that Dan's here and can hear us via Zoom?
You bump out on us?
He's up in the left, I think.
I'm here.
Okay. I'll put him present as via Zoom.
When you're looking at.
There it is, right on top. Found it. Well, start with public comment.
We do the roll call first.
Here, we
I
did,
just
we just did it.
Yeah, so.
Apologize, everybody, it's kind of a mess today. So we'll start with public comment, if anybody wants to, 3 minutes, state your name and your township. Here, anybody on the internet? All right, hearing none, moving on. Now I'll make a motion to add claims. And a motion to approve the agenda.
Well, excuse me, could we also add the minutes from December 15th and December 29th?
We did that up in the.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, there's somebody gave me one I can use.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is amend this to read public comment. Help me out, Stephanie.
Approval of minutes.
What's next? Approval of minutes.
And then you're gonna add anything you need to the agenda.
Yep, and then we're gonna add claims to
To the new business.
new business, and we need to add the ACCOA contract to the new business.
And then you motion
Is that-
That's my motion.
agenda.
Second.
Moved by Brady, seconded by Terry. Any further discussion? This is a rocky first meeting. Roll call.
Brumman,
Yes.
Thompson,
Here.
Small,
Yes.
Brady.
Yes. Okay,
We should have added adoption, well, if you want to, the adoption of claims.
I did.
Or, I'm sorry, the resolution for the general fund and other budgets. Unless you choose not.
No, I choose to. Can we add that to that last one? Is everybody cool with that?
Amended motion.
Yep. New business, Jennifer, Troy. Medical examiner, we got claims. Okay, so what's next? Motion to approve the agenda is next. Yeah, we're gonna approve the minutes.
So you want that motion at this time?
Yes, please.
Okay, so move to approve the minutes of December 15th, 2021, and December 29th, 2021.
Moved and seconded. Carolyn and Bill. Any further comment? Roll call.
The minutes?
So all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Hey, why did they need?
You're doing well.
No, I'm not. This is really bad. I'm getting the first one. So next would be motion to approve the agenda. Motion by Bill, seconded by Adam. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carried. Now we can go into new business. Jennifer.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I have for you the appointed council agreement for the 23rd Circuit Family Division for Oakland County. In the past, we've had 3 attorneys and 2 have willingly signed the contracts for next year. The one has asked us to find a substitution for him. We're in that process of looking for that. I would like to present the 2 contracts that I have for signature of our chairman today and ask the board if they, once we've named a third, because that's actually appointed by the judge, if they would give the chairman permission to sign it also once we've done it. I anticipate that in the next week or 2. So the contract is within the constraints of our budget. Right now, we're looking at paying Mr. Budusky and Mr. Wilson. Those 2 are both returning from last year, $5,000 total. And we will pay them monthly beginning this month through December at $416.67. The contract language is essentially the same as it's been the last 3 or 4 years, with the exception of dates. And then that amount changed a small amount, but it's still within the constraints of our budget.
Karen signed those contracts for 3 lawyers, 2 now and 1 in the future.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further comment? Do you have any idea at all who,
The third who's asked us to look will do it. I'm just trying, and I've got a couple of names for one from Alpena County and one from Iosco County that I just need confirmation,
okay,
or not confirmation.
Yeah.
One or the other.
we need a roll call on that? Yes, probably.
Wayne,
Yeah, roll call then, please.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes.
Brady.
Yes. Yeah, anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you. And so just for clarification, I can approach you right before the next board meeting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day.
Next item is Troy. Not here.
He said he would come if we needed it.
Well, he put it on you, didn't he? Did he tell you? Put it on you?
Oh, yeah,
Equalization
he's trying.
Contractor services?
Yes. If there's any, yeah. Any questions?
Well, the main difference is what? It's for 1 year only.
Yes.
Because the discussion is that some of our townships are, you owe me one, sorry. Some of our townships are doing their own printing of bills and other services that Alcona County offers. And more of them are considering it, so that's why this contract is only for 1 year. And there's a meeting planned. I don't know if it's set up yet. I don't think it has been, but he plans to call together township officials to discuss and talk about it with them.
And we'll also be having a separate meeting with the treasurers in February. And the impacts on what's gonna happen with the outcome of that.
Okay.
You had some questions on the chair. This-
I've not heard a response.
Hmm.
Are you talking about the contract? And I just said a suggestion because there
Oh,
were some
okay.
words missing.
Okay.
I thought there was words missing. Maybe if that's not the case. It was just my interpretation.
I have not, I believe, so.
I never heard anything back.
um,
So will these be signed, Adam, after meeting with each individual township and those that choose this service? And then they'll be signed individually by each township as they were in the past?
Whatever happened in the past for right now, but I think in the past it was like a 3-year contract.
mhm.
It was longer
It
term.
changed from a 3 to a 1.
Basically,
doing
it's
the
how
1
it
year.
is.
That's what
Somebody saw.
I don't know. Hello? Okay, anyway, well, forgive me, but, and I probably got the email, either didn't read it or forgot, but, what are what's the verbiage?
Yeah, it's like, I just remember there was an email about, could you refresh me on that, Carol? Email you sent?
Oh, there was just an email with the contract to all the commissioners, I believe.
Yep.
And it was just to look it over and review, and I just found one question with, it was a silly typo that was missing a to pay or something, and it was, I see it was fixed
Okay,
in there. Yes, just on that one page, that was all. I don't see any problems with,
okay,
there was no, it was just the length of, the contract was 1 year as opposed to 3. That's really the only changes that I see.
So make the motion that you feel comfortable in having Troy come in, he is.
it's information's all there, I mean,
Okay.
it's the same except for the term, and then, it's on him to advise us when he's gonna set up a meeting with the township officials, make sure that we're in the loop. I have a motion, do I have a second? Support. Moved and supported by, Terry and Bill. We'll do a roll call.
Brumman,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Next item, medical examiner appointment.
I think you all received a copy of the recommended suggested motion. And at this time, if the chair so wishes, I will move to Rockland County Pursuit Public Act 2002, number 22, IND effective March 4th, 2002, Public Act 2006, number 3, IND effective February 3rd, 2006, MCL 52, Tom Apple. To hereby appoint Dr. Rashawn Mahava as Chief Medical Examiner of and for the County of Alcona. Effective date of this appointment is December 1st, 2021, and length of appointment is 4 years through November 30th, 2025, unless terminated earlier. All prior appointments by the Alcona County Board of Commissioners are hereby rescinded.
Motion by Carolyn, support by Bill. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hi
please.
hi there.
Oh, hello.
Sorry about that. Hi there. I'm Roshan Mahaber, the medical examiner. Any question?
Yes, thank you. Oh, we lost you again. Is there something to add?
Gentlemen, and ladies, we didn't mean to interrupt your meeting. Dr. Mahabir is here as well as myself. I'm Brian Hart, CEO of Michigan Institute of Forensic Science and Medicine. Excuse us, please. If you had any questions, we're here.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, we'll go through roll call, please.
Small,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Motion carries.
And if I may, since they are on, I want to thank Mr. Hart for his responses to, I don't want to say multiple, because that really sounds like more. I think more than there actually were, but we did have some questions and he very kindly responded to us appropriately, and I appreciate that. So thank you.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you saying that. And again, going forward, any other questions, anything that we can help with, please feel free to reach out.
We'll do that.
Thank you very much.
I do have a question in regards to medical examiner. Can I
Sure.
interject a question?
Yes, please.
So for all intents and purposes, you're assigning a chief medical examiner for the county of Alcona. Are they the only ones that can make this determination of a possible death? Is that, or do we have other, I know in the past we've had different first responders or medical personnel that were able to make the call of that. Is that not the case, or is that how it works? I don't know how it works
Our
anymore.
ANSIs respond to Dr. Sharp. I'm not saying his name, I apologize.
So our medical examiner is this new doctor that you
Correct.
recommend. Okay,
But we do still have MESIs working under him
okay.
at his direction.
So are they in the area or is it something that do we have any local that can make that? determination?
MESIs are all local,
Okay. Putting it under his direction.
correct,
And are they available?
24/7.
And what's
24/7. Sorry to interrupt again. Usually what happens is any deaths that are questionable where it falls under medical examiner jurisdiction means death in a young person, a non-natural death. What happens is the MEIs, the investigators usually call me 24/7 about them to see if they need further investigation or if they need to come in for an autopsy. Usually what happens is in most cases now they're calling because a lot of it is they're unsure about what to do. They're calling me, and if it's a natural death or a death that we can certify without having to do an autopsy, I usually tell them to take the body to a funeral home, get the medical notes, specifically if it's a medical case, and we'll continue to work on it by reviewing the notes. If it needs be, then we can always bring the decedent into our facility for examination. Things like homicide, suicide, death in a young person, specifically child death, and unnatural situations where the person was not expected to die, those have to come in for the evaluation on site. Hope that cleared something up.
In our on-site facility is in Saginaw Township, Michigan. What we have is, just to kind of explain it, because I know it is, until you're involved in it, it's somewhat confusing. What we have is MEIs, medical examiner investigators, and we have them in each of the counties we serve. So in Alcona County, for instance, we have medical examiner investigators in that area. One gentleman's a former firefighter, one individual is a former nurse. And so what they do is they go to the scenes, they report to the scenes, they run the investigation, and then at the exact same time, they work in conjunction with Dr. Mahabir, explaining the vitals, explaining the scene, explaining their investigation. Dr. Mahabir decides whether or not it's a criminal situation or there's something else that further needs an autopsy, in conjunction with the family's wishes as well.
What's your question, Stephanie?
I just had a question. My name is Stephanie Eller. I'm from the Alcona County Clerk's Office. In regard to any pending death certificates that are being currently rejected by the state, we're getting calls from family members whose benefits are being, they're on hold. And can you tell me what the status of that is right now and how fast that's going to be rectified, hopefully?
State law on those requirements, it's usually anywhere between 4 and 6 months to get the results back on an autopsy. We're doing everything we can. We're always trying to look for ways to be more efficient and push through getting those death certificates signed and the autopsy reports completed. Unfortunately, those take time because there's toxicology a lot of times that goes into those autopsies. There's several lab concerns that we have to wait back and hear from our on-site lab as well. And the doctor himself, he confers if necessary, and he comes to a determination. Sometimes, especially when it comes to criminal cases, it just takes a little while longer. Doctor, would you have anything to add?
The turnaround time for autopsies and autopsy results should be somewhere about 90 days, 3 months. I think we're way under that. One of the biggest problems that we have for autopsy results and theses is the turnaround time for toxicology, because there are very few labs that do it in the country. And the few labs that do it, they have a serious backlog. So we're still way under the 3 months that the National Academy of Medical Examiners set aside for the turnaround time for autopsy reports and DCs. But from what I understand, we have death certificates again rejected from the state, which I think is more what your question was.
It is. So
How
when
many-
you're updating death certificate for the cause of death, and you're making a change, and the state is rejecting it, the state registrar is rejecting these death certificates.
So I had about 2 or 3 of those where they rejected, and we ended up calling the state registrar or emailing the state registrar to see what was wrong. And a lot of it was because the previous chief had begun to write to do the death certificate, and it was signed under him. And then I'm as pending. And then the final death certificate was being signed as me. So they did not, it just didn't know what was happening. But I thought, from what I understood with the calling the stick, that was cleared up now. But if there are cases that are, if there are DCs that are still rejected and we didn't change it, is there any way you can contact me, O'Brien, with the names of the residents who don't have a final DC death certificate?
Because this was effective as of yesterday, and we had one rejected.
We'll certainly
No,
look
hold
into that. If you'd like to reach out to us outside of the meeting on the specific name, we'd be more than happy to look into it. Unfortunately, like with anything else, you know, there are slips in the system when you're dealing with other agencies. You know, I suppose that does happen, but any concern we can figure out right away. Dr. Mahabir is correct that the original medical examiner signing on the certificate, if it's amended, that doctor, that original physician that signed off on it needs to, or began the report, needs to sign off on it. That's why this vote is so important. Now it puts Dr. Mahabir in the driver's seat on that. So once Dr. Mahabir starts those reports, even if he amends them, he's the one that signs off on them. There's no middleman.
Okay, and I think the state was waiting for the board's decision today so that this can proceed. But yeah, there's a couple I'd like to get them, you know, the families.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of times I understand life insurance policies. Absolutely. So I believe Ms. Drummond has my contact information. Please feel free to get that information to me, and we'll work on it on our end.
Thank you.
You're real welcome.
Okay, moving on to claims. Get that out of the way here, and we'll do it the way. Make a motion to approve pre-authorized claims and open claims presented for payment between 12/15/2021 and 1/4/2022 for check numbers 146,227 to 146,411, and e-check numbers 1749 to 1765 for a grand total of $799,014.47. Support. Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Brady,
Yes.
Small.
Yes. Next item of new business is the ACCOA contract. Bill, would you care to speak to that, please?
Yeah, we had, their contract is due in January, and they have a new millage that they're under. It's increased, and I passed one out. I took the one that was existing and went over with Tom, and he embellished on it and created one that would cover the county better in general for the millage, control of the millage. And I passed it out for you guys to look at, and basically we need just to approve what Tom did so that I can turn it over to Lenny and let him review it, and then the signatures will happen. Probably this month, I hope. So that's what I'm looking for, is basically approval of what was written by Tom. And I have, Tom also got going, and he has I have in possession the actual rules governing the nonprofit senior villages at the state level. He printed the whole thing out, so it's a 57-page document that can be used as a reference.
Okay. So we're looking for a motion to,
I would move that upon receipt of a signed contract with ACCOA approved by their board. And do we have a current copy of the insurance
Yes,
that we then authorize our chair to sign that contract?
And so no payments are gonna be made to ACCOA until this confirmation. Was there any changes in? Because you are, it's an ACCOA millage, but you are in control of who you choose to provide your services. So because in the original contract, there were payment dates that were set for those millage dollars. So am I waiting for the new contract to determine whether that's gonna
I
be
don't
happening or
believe
not?
there was a change in the payment. There was a discussion with Tom about the original millage that passed this last time should not have labeled ACCOA. It should have been a nonprofit senior organization, made it more general that way. If we decided that the existing organization that we have presently wasn't up to what we think the standards, we could go to another portion and do it. But the millage actually says ACCOA.
Well, it's just wording and how it's put on the tax bill.
Yeah, but that's what Tom was upset about a little bit of how it was written.
the question is,
I don't believe there's a
they can't get
change
any payments until
until this is signed.
it's signed. That's the question.
Thank you very much.
And my motion provides for our chair to sign it only after their board has approved and authorized Glenn to sign.
Right, and they don't have a meeting until the end of the month.
Well, I have a motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Further discussion. Everything fine.
I'm sorry.
What would have been the first date start? Everything fine. Off the top of your head. I have to look myself. But
I don't know.
To start sending them funds?
Yeah,
I believe it was February, but I'm not 100%.
February. Okay. So it's not gonna hold up their show. Yeah. All right, no other discussion, then we'll do a roll call.
Thompson,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
New business.
Is that the claims? Is there another thing on the claims?
I didn't claim. Just did it out of order. Got the ACCOA. We can move on to the finance report.
How about resolution?
Oh, yeah, right there, resolution 2022, new business.
yes, 9.
Resolution 2022-09, adoption of 2022 general fund and other budgets for Oklahoma County.
I will also move it out.
Okay, we have moved by Carolyn, supported by Bill. What this is that we approved these last year. We didn't have the totals included.
We did in a. That's what you voted on. They just weren't included in the,
Just didn't have any.
under a resolution.
Right. So so by doing this, does this mess any, does this screw up anything that we have in place right now?
No.
Are these not the same numbers as what we have, or these are all legit?
I didn't review. The bottom line is the same. Revenues.
It was lifted from,
Taken directly from the budget?
correct, from what was approved.
if I could just suggest for future, Adam, possibly when the hearing is held for the general fund budget, in the minutes, just put, as presented and attached. And then what we actually, well, the public can see that's in our office would just be attached right to the minutes, and they could go right to the website and see it.
That
And it's also on the website anyways, but.
that by itself does not rectify a potential problem. Because it still has not cited whether you or not you are approving by line item or by activity. This document does.
However you guys want to do it.
And I don't think any of us want to have all the line item changes in the general fund come before the full board.
Then can you do it by fund
By activity,
or by activity?
absolutely,
Which it states here.
but not by line item.
Which else doesn't do that.
That would be crazy.
So we're just gonna make sure next year that we have this prepared properly. Any further discussion? Carolyn made the motion, Bill supported it. So we'll do a roll call.
Brumman,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Motion carries, or resolution carries. It carries. Okay, so that is all taken care of. Moving on to the finance report. We've been working with the budget liaisons to clear up end of 2021. Still going through that stuff. And oh, Dan, you got anything to add?
No, I've just been answering what Cheryl has sent me and just trying to keep on top of everything.
There's a 2022 finance representative. So when would you like to have your first meeting of 2022?
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up just next. Let's set it for. Well, we should do it tomorrow or Friday, probably. Gonna be around tomorrow or Friday. Are you around this afternoon? You wanna do it right now? Can we do it after the meeting?
Yeah, you're right.
You cool with that? All right.
And what about,
He can dial in. Dan, can you call in this afternoon?
Sure.
Do it.
Yeah. What time? Right after this?
Yeah, we'll do it after the regular meeting here, and I gotta talk to Scott for a little bit.
Okay.
Another thing I want to bring up for finance is well, I'll give you a heads up. I'm gonna be sending you guys a proposed modification to the finance procedures policy, whatever you want to call it. Discussions between Dan and I, we would like to recommend that if any line item changes are requested, that they go through finance first. That's something you guys can think about and chew over in your minds, and I'll be bringing it up at the next meeting for a modification. So
They're all fund annual activities.
correct,
For 2022 or
starting 2022 and probably perpetually.
By supplying, do we have to wait until we get a response back from finance?
That would be the proposal.
Because I've been submitting finance, but I haven't gotten any responses back. Last year, so primarily the carpet.
I think I'm pretty sure I responded to all, if not most, but regardless, That's-
You're saying that you do want
that's,
us to not do anything until after.
I would, yes, that's what Dan and I have talked about. We're trying to clean up some double entries and things of that nature, which have been kind of plaguing us and made the last audit kind of rough, so.
Now, then will finance then take the responsibility to forward on to the clerk for those modifications?
We will take responsibility to forward to make modifications. But like I said, I'll bring that forward next time. Just think about it some more if there's any other notes or whatever issues, problems. That's all I have for finance. Personnel, what you got?
Happy to.
Yeah. All right.
That's what we got.
I'll
I
accept
think
that.
our next union meeting is January 13th, if that's what the schedule would be. We haven't heard much more about that.
All right, treasurer's report.
I'm working on year-end things, obviously. Still waiting on information if there's any changes that need to be done from the audit of 2021. I haven't heard back from Ken. I haven't reached out to him since we've been back. I sent an email prior to the new year. Because generally we have changes that need to be done, year-end changes that have to pass, and I haven't heard back. I will reach back out to him this week. Because the delinquency and the filing of the reports, we've encountered a loss of $8,000 approximately in revenue sharing because of the non-timely filing of the F-65 report. That's something that we can't gain back. This is a timing issue. This year, like I said, the audit was quite interesting, different than it's ever been. The working towards the 2022, that was all cleaned up, and we're working towards, I know the clerk's office has been handling the first part of the payroll this today. It's finished up the first payroll. So there's still a lot of changes that are happening in for 2021 as far as wages, expenses, and revenues. I would ask that anyone who has revenues for services that they've provided that we need to know what you're anticipating. Changes to the 2021 revenues, where we have a lot of things outstanding that were originally budgeted. I don't know if people have billed out what, and just not given us confirmation of what was billed out for grants, for individual services, what other anticipated revenue. We run into this every year. This year, it just seems a little more askew. We have a lot of things that haven't come in. I know the clerk's office is working with the payables for, because those also have to be journal entry back to the prior year. So if you bought a pencil in 2021 and you didn't get your bill till 2022, those need to be turned in as soon as possible, because we will only be accruing things back through the month of February. So if you attended a meeting anytime throughout the year and didn't, I don't know what her policy is at this time, but we won't be accruing anything back after February. I know there are taxes and different implications with the clerk's office for timely filing of bills that you need to have paid, especially per diem and those kind of things. If you don't turn them in by a certain date, they can't be included in the appropriate places. And I really feel like that's a disservice in putting the clerk's office in that spot.
Per diem is the big one.
And I don't think it's right for people to withhold those until the last minute and expect them to get these things done. That's my rant. I'm almost over it. Today, with payroll where it was, you need to go over the policies and procedures, not only financial policies and procedures, but personnel policies and procedures and how things happen. And it really needs to be looked at, because this morning, it affected 3 offices, at least 5 different people were involved in a very uncomfortable situation where it shouldn't have been. If it says it here, if you've made that decision as a board that this is what happens, this is how it happens, and this is what it can or can't happen, we need clarification. We don't need these last minute situations coming up where it involves 3 different offices, 5 different people, and 2 hours of work going back and forth. It's just not, it's not a good situation. And these things happen regularly. And I'd like to see you make a priority now policies. And possibly we've had 62 new employees since 2019. And for my office personally, I have a 3-year employee that's been here for 3 years and has never been to a personnel meeting. Maybe one. I apologize for the county. I just think we need a better communication and direction for our employees. That's all I got. My rant is over.
Thank you.
She leaves. Cheryl gave
Yes,
us the ARPA, a rescue plan request proposal. It's what if you have a project that you want to try to apply it to the rescue plan. It's rather good. It talks about all the different information that is needed for reporting. It talks about what you're gonna do, who's gonna do it, when you're gonna do it. It's got a nice informational page. I'd like to adopt that to make for any grant that comes our way, that it doesn't just have to go towards the rescue plan. It could be used, for example, I'm gonna go try for a tire grant. There's nothing wrong with be filling that information out on one of these forms that would help both departments have the information, who to call, when to call, how's the funds coming in, et cetera. And it's rather in-depth one. I just think it's worthwhile using.
So are you making a motion?
I guess I make a motion that we adopt the the procedure on reporting projects to the, not only to the American Rescue Plan, but any grants that are coming through the county with the county's name on it, that it would be information used for those other two departments to know what's going on.
Second for discussion.
Moved and seconded.
Fourth once in the past.
It has, but this would give it a,
Department heads.
this is,
Yeah, well, I support this. I have no problem. with this. I guess the only thing that I would say is, should this come back to us through the finance committee and be part of, rather than a document outside of finance, should be incorporated in the department.
Bill, you said this came from Cheryl.
I believe it came through an email from her, yes. I believe she put it pretty much together and
Kind of your recommendation then.
this is that's the resolution that you adopted for the ARPA funding. What Bill, and I'm assuming is for any other grants, it would be a procedure similar to that. It would just need to be
and that was one
maybe
thing
a
you
little bit
mentioned, that
modified to,
grant information coming to you.
This is a motion to, okay, use this documentation for all grants.
For all grants, I think that would cover anything. Would have the county's name on it.
Yes, everybody wants to vote this yesterday, finance can shoulder this and add it to the,
I've looked it over anyways, it's
the finance policy. What you got there? We do. I thought you were raising your hand. Okay, any further discussion? Let's do a roll call.
Brumman,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Anything else, Cheryl? You done? Okay. Clerk's report.
kind of going off of Cheryl's thing earlier too, right? It's easy for, the clerk's office, you always want to be accommodating, but sometimes I think just flat out no, it's gonna have to be said to, you're holding up the whole payroll. Everybody's payroll for just a select few. It's, we legally can't not pay someone for work that's done, but I mean, you gotta keep moving along on everything too. So maybe just a review of the personnel policy. One thing I missed in getting your stacks together was a request for the vacancy on the DHS board, an appointment and a letter of interest. And I did talk to Tammy Ranger, she's also on that board, and they were hoping to have, I didn't make you guys copies. It's from Ellie Button, and she has requested her letter of interest and submitted it for your consideration. Yes, okay. Oh, she sent it to you as well. Okay.
Tammy sent it.
Tammy did, okay, yeah.
And this needs to be happen right away.
She
She
was hoping
requested
that
it.
it would be so that she could be appointed before the next meeting.
I'll make a motion to appoint Ellie Button to the DHHS board support. Who is supported? Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. What else you got, Stephanie?
I think that was pretty much it. The Emmy kind of got taken care of. And I think that's really all I had. And yeah,
Okay.
just a kind of a stressful payroll and getting ready
Well, short weekend.
for the new, yeah. Mhm, yeah.
Moving on, committee reports. Yeah, Terry. No. For Terry, I don't have anything either. I want you, Bill.
The only thing I got is that I'm pursuing the tire grant. Once again, they came out and said that they're gonna do another 2022 series. And I talked with Cheryl, and she's going to be the person to go to, and it uses the county numbers and so forth. So I have to have it turned in by the 14th of January, so I'll try to have, once I get it, I'll have you. I think you have to sign it.
Okay.
That's about all.
We need a motion to authorize.
Yeah, because it's gonna come before the next meeting.
I would so move.
Motion authorized to sign the tire grant.
Yeah.
Seconded by Terry. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Brumman?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Brady?
Yes.
Small?
Yes.
So how about you, Carolyn?
No.
Okay. Vacations in your packet, several things to look over.
I have a question on the Murmur. Murmur recognizes that we still could be housing somebody.
I'm sure they talked to the jail and.
Okay.
Yes, and there is still an employee over there as well.
So it's really,
It was the liability of all of the workers that are no longer there.
okay, I didn't want to have them write us off.
They're
from
currently,
jail
there
services.
is still a jail there, that there is an employee, yes.
Okay, last section of public comment, limited to 5 minutes, state your name and your township. Sir, Mr. Scott.
I have the write-offs for EMS for the months of November and December. Fortunately, they were the two largest months of the calendar year. November was $39,073.85. December was $46,281.18. For the total year of 2021, our write-off came to $346,164.23. In the last 2 months of the highest number of street count.
We budgeted. Yeah.
We budgeted 313 and some change, I think is the magic number.
I didn't bring a budget down, sorry.
No, I'm not asking for real numbers, I just,
Yeah, that's cool.
yes, Scott, yeah. All right.
Well, we could get it if we didn't participate in contract with the insurance carriers. Then we have to get the money from the patient versus the family. We get more money, but we wouldn't get it as fast.
Right.
Perfect world.
Okay, anybody else?
Do you need a motion to send out on
Do I need a motion?
the losses?
Do I just, do we have to sign on the losses? You have to sign in that document you just gave us?
I don't know if you have to sign it, you usually make a motion to approve, but
The write-ups?
Yeah. We have to have a motion to approve it?
you typically do.
Okay, well,
Make a motion to approve the
Bill,
the EMS write-offs. Second.
who seconded?
For the two,
Both months.
both months.
November, and December. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Small,
Yes.
Broman,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes. Any other public comment? All right, commissioners, additional comments?
from the last meeting, you guys stated that there were a couple motions that you were going to complete after the first of the meeting of the year.
For 210 and 296. For 210, for
Made and seconded and passed.
that you would discuss it at the first meeting in
Is that for the
January.
amendment?
It was, no, because you had approved, I was told not to change anything because of what was printed,
Okay,
and then you agreed to change 210.
Yep.
I put in it, for 210, I put in 42.2 because I was reading it, I read it and I did a typographical error. It should have been 44.2 for that particular individual's wages. On 96, you made a motion to change that from 46 to 48 for the Veterans Counselor to be voted on in the first meeting. I don't have.
She was the only one. She's the only one that has second, please.
I think the motion approved it.
Yeah, that's the way I'm reading it.
You hadn't approved the budget and you told me I could not change anything from that budget because that was what was presented at the public hearing. So you said you would. I mean,
I
you
think
can
we
go
got
back
it,
to the
right?
meeting, that's fine.
Let's-
It
no, let's
was
make
not
that motion
changed, so I
right.
guess I'm asking if I can change these things.
yeah,
Once you,
I'll make a motion to authorize changes for the two funds as requested. Support. Move to support it. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yeah.
Brady,
Yes,
Brumman,
Yes.
thank you for reminding me.
96.
Anything else? Okay, then we will adjourn the meeting till the next regular meeting on January 19th.
Hey, Adam. Dan, can you call me when you start the finance meeting?
oh, it's Stan.
That's a stand, that's all fine. Yeah, sure. Do that, well, I don't want to zoom that right now. Let me call you in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, just call me. Thanks.